Good morning. It's Margaret from the University of Sewing, and this is Facebook Live. Well, you know what? After all of that, Dave, guess where I left the prize? Out in the other room.
We'll just get it later then.
You
can tell them what it was and tell them the drill.
I can. We have a wonderful pattern that we are going to give away today to those of you who share. It is a sweet little patriotic pattern. It's got some, it's got a panel in the center, or you can of course make your own flag for the center, and then it's got stars around it, and it's really quite cute. And that is going to be our giveaway today, but I'm here without it. So usually Denise would remember to bring that for me, and I didn't remember to do it. I actually have it in the other room.
Speaking of flags and fabric, what are we going to do on the 4th of July?
Well, Dave is trying to get us into a parade. So if you're in Bloomington, Indiana for the 4th of July, you might want to come see the parade and see us in our cute little 1901 replica that Dave has found. And I don't know what brand it is, Dave. So you're going to have...
Olds.
It's an Olds. I didn't even know they made anything at that point in time. Okay, guys, so you're going to have to come see us for 4th of July. That's all there is to it. Actually, the 4th of July parade here in Bloomington is always quite nice. So I hope that if you're available and around, you want to come and join us. We have wonderful things to tell you about today. And I want to remind you that the Serger sale is ending on Saturday. And well, it's not really ending on Saturday. You still can buy stuff online all the way through until Monday. I should say the end of the day, Sunday. So we just had the most wonderful thing happen. We had a young man actually order from us online for one of our Bernettes. And it's one of the ones that's right here. And he saw one of our YouTube videos, and he felt like what we explained about these machines was helpful to him, and he decided to purchase this from us. So that was really neat. So I am going to show you these 3 machines, and the reason that I wanted to do this way is I wanted to make sure that you guys understood the differences between the 3 machines, and I'm going to give you a little tip and trick on one of them so that it'll help you a bit. So first of all, over here, we have the Bernette 62 air threader. The B62 air threader is a really lovely cover stitch machine. And that's all it does. It does cover stitch or chain stitches. So I'm going to come around here, and I'm going to hold up the various stitches. Dave, why don't you get in here a little closer and show people. These are the stitches that the 62 does. It does a 2-thread chain stitch, a 4-thread cover stitch. That's the one with the 3 stitches in the front. Then it has a narrow 2-thread cover, well, 2 in the front and 1 in the back. So they call it a 3-thread cover stitch narrow. And then a 3-thread cover stitch wide. A 3-thread cover stitch narrow. Why is it doing that again? Oh, it's just positioning it a little differently. So this one uses the left needle. This one uses the center needle. That's what the difference between those are. And then you have the chain stitches that you can either use in the left, right, or center needle positions.
Do you think everyone knows what a chain stitch is?
I'm sure they don't. The chain stitch, think about your blue jeans. And if you go get a pair of your blue jeans out and you look inside them and you look down inside the legs, a lot of times they'll have a chain stitch, and then the stitches will be flat felled, or they might just be serged. So that's what you can do a chain stitch with this machine. Now you can't do it in combination with a serger stitch. That is something you can only get with the B68, and I'll explain that here in a minute. The reason I'm saying that this might be the best machine for you is because right now, if you are not familiar with how this works, we only have 1 looper that you have to thread and 2 needles. So if you've never used a cover stitch machine before, this might be the perfect machine for you because it is so simple. There's not, you can move needles, or you can just thread it. I mean, it's so simple. It is by far the easiest cover stitch machine I've ever seen. And it's because of the air threading. It used to be that cover stitch machines were really complicated to thread. Well, this one isn't at all. And so if you haven't ventured into cover stitching because you were afraid of the threading, you don't have to be anymore. This is really easy. Now, I am wearing this is one of Pamela Pattern's, her draped cardigan. And look at I don't know if we can, I'm hoping we have enough light we can get here. This is cover stitching right here. And look how beautiful that looks. So, and on the back, we used woolly nylon in the looper. And look how pretty that is. And it stretches. It's really beautiful. And it's on my sleeves too. And you could do that on this B62. And again, this is so simple and so straightforward. I know that any one of you could do this. And even if you don't own a serger and you just want to be able to do cover stitching because you need to hem things because you're really tall like me. I'm so tall, 5'1". Everything has to be hemmed. So maybe this is the answer to getting all your things hemmed. So this, you can purchase this online and we can ship it to you. So right now it's at a fabulous price. It's normally $17.35. The price on this is now $12.99. It is a great deal. And also what you're going to do is, I'm going to move this over here because what you'll also do is you'll also get this set of feet with it. So the set of feet right here, they're all clear and they give you the ability to do things like gathering and just all kinds of, well, actually, you know what? I don't think this is the right one for this machine because it's got extra stuff. I'm not sure which one. I think this would actually work for both the B64 and the 62. So if you already own a 64 and you want to add the B62 to your lineup, then this set of feet I think will work on both of them because that's what it was meant for, is it was meant for the combo machine. So I'm going to have to figure out what the actual gift with purchase is for this one. So don't worry about that. If you buy one, I promise I'll have it figured out by the end of the day here today. Now, again, Dave, get in here for just a second because I want to show something off. On the front of this machine, you'll see there's 3 needle positions. 1, 2, 3. And they are our left position or center position, but they say C, D, and E. That's not really the way you want to think about it. The way you want to think about it is your left position, your center position, or your right position. Now, that is where the cover stitch needles reside on these machines. It's up front, and it has these 3 needle positions. If you come over here and compare the needles on your serger, this B64 is just a serger. And see where the needles are? They're set back a little bit further, and there's 2 needle positions. Now, why am I even telling you that? Because in a minute, I'm going to show you a machine that is a combo machine. And I'm hoping that for those of you who have already bought a B68, this will help you. So, on this machine, again, it is an air threader. It is very simple to thread. You have 2 air ports. All your tools are on board, just like the 62. There's your upper looper, your lower looper, and you have 2 needle positions. The yellow and the green are always for your needles, and your 2 blue and your red are always for your loopers. So again, this makes it really easy to use. The machine only has one function. You can do rolled hems, you can do typical serger type things on it, and we're going to show you, let me see, I think I can do this. Yes, I can. So, right here on my top, that is a 4-thread serger application, and you probably have this on every t-shirt you own, okay? So, there's 4 threads that are used in this, and 3 of them act as your covering around the edge of your seam, and 1 acts as a safety stitch on it. So that's possible on this. Again, I'm going to show you there's a whole group of stitches you can do with this. You've got 4 thread with a integrated safety stitch all the way to different kinds of rolled hems. You can do flat locking with this machine. These are all available to you. So this has a lot of really good features. Again, what's so nice about it is it has this single function so that you do not get confused between the serging function or the cover stitch function, which can happen with the 68, unfortunately. But for those of you who do not want to have 2 separate machines and you want to have one machine that does both functions, the B68 is your machine. Now, the thing about it's different though is, notice this right here. This is a plate that you would use exclusively for cover stitch functions. And if you look at the front of the machine, it tries to give you some clues. These are right here, only cover stitch functions. The ones down the bottom are only serger functions. So one of the things that you will see here with this is that you can go ahead. Now, remember on the 2 machines I've showed you before, the serger just had these 2 ports. The cover stitch just had this one. Now we have them all. So that means there's a little more complication to this machine. So you are going to have to learn on this machine which needles you're using, because when you're only using the serger functions, that you'll use the 2 back needles. When you're only using cover stitch functions, you'll have these 3 front needles. And last but not least, I want to talk about, there is, though, because this is a machine that does both. On one side, we have our serger stitches. On the other side, we have cover stitch functions. But look at this. Now there's the addition of a combo. So why would you maybe want the B68 instead of the other 2? Well, it's one machine instead of 2. It's a little bit of a price difference. It's not a huge price difference between the machines. But, you know, having 2 machines instead of 1, it's space. Everybody thinks that that's important. And the other thing that you have to understand how to switch it from the serger functions to the cover stitch functions, and you also have to be comfortable with the combo functions.
Now Margaret, you said they would have to learn. Now, if they live in our area,
it's very easy to learn that. And what I want you to remember is that there's mastery lessons on all these machines. And we've got one coming up here in May. So if you purchase this now, we've got a May lesson coming up for you. And what I will tell you is that a lot of times people come to our mastery lessons and our machines just do a lot. They just do. You have a lot of different functions. So if you're going to get one of these 3 machines, we offer mastery lessons on this about every 2 months. Guess what you can do? You can come multiple times. We don't care how many times you come.
And what do you charge for lessons?
Just material costs. That's it. In this case, I think for this one, it's either $10 or $15. That's it. And we're only asking you to pay for the materials you're using. Plus, we give you needles, we give you fabric to use, and we have you go through and do different things with them throughout the class so you get really comfortable with these machines. So, the 3 different machines available right now, you've got the B62, which is a cover stitch machine. You've got the B64, which is a serger. And you have the B68, which is a combo machine. They're all on sale. Really nice prices for them right now. And they each come with a foot set so that you can do extra things with them. And you are going to be really pleased at the results that you can get with these machines. No, they're not a Bernina. But I will tell you, they're a lot easier to use than any sergers and cover stitch machines I've seen up until now. They don't have a computer on board, but you're not paying that same kind of price either. So I hope you will think about and consider those. If you're someone who has to do a lot of hemming, if you're someone who has to make a lot of adjustments on your clothes, Right now, everything's made for, I think, somebody who's 6'7". So, you know, it's just, I'm taking off 3 inches off of every sleeve on anything I get. My pants, they're always too long. So what I would recommend to you is that you really consider something like this. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And you know those t-shirt quilts you want to make? By the way, we have a t-shirt quilt class coming up. You can do it on your serger. If you want to try out a serger in that class and see if you like working with a serger, you can tell us which serger you'd like to do, and you can work on putting together a small t-shirt quilt in that class, and you can decide if sergers are for you. I had a customer come in 2 days ago, and she worked with her new serger, and she was just shocked at how easy it was to use, how comfortable she felt with it, and she did her t-shirt quilt in an afternoon. So they're totally possible, totally easy to use. They're so much better now with the air threading. You don't have to stand on your head to get them threaded. They're just really a nice machine. And I think a lot of people were afraid of them. You don't need to be afraid of them anymore. You're going to really like it. It's going to make your life easier. And it's shocking how fast they work. And so what about other things that you can do with these? Why would you want them? Well, if you're someone, I personally, over the holidays, ended up giving a bunch of gifts that were napkins. The rolled hem that your serger will do is just lovely. And it makes the time really short to be able to get that done. If you are thinking about, you know, we're just talking about the cover stitch machine. Well, you know what? You can also do a napkin with a cover stitch. So that's kind of cool. So if you're thinking about getting into clothes and you've been wondering if you want to do clothing, well, these are the perfect machines for you. So think about this. Like I said, the sale is only going on through the end of the day on Sunday, which you can purchase these online. So if you've been thinking about it, we can ship it to you. We just did that for a young man in Ohio, and he was so excited to get his new machine. So if you're thinking that you want one of these and that's what you want to do, and we're here to answer questions, I will tell you that they are just really a fun machine, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Everybody I know who's bought a B64 has just raved about how happy they've been with them. So if you haven't done it yet, come on, let's go do that. Now, don't forget, I didn't bring the pattern with me, but if you shared today on Facebook, we've got a really pretty quilt pattern. I think it's called Rockets Away is what it's called. And it is going to be what we give you. What you're going to do is you're going to go on to your Facebook feed, you're going to hit share, and then in the comments section you'll write shared so that we know you shared, because Facebook settings a lot of times won't let us know. Oh, Dave, you know what you can do? Let me see. Is it on this one? I'm trying to remember. Did I do a rolled hem on this one, or did I do a baby roll? Oh, I did baby rolls. I thought I did a rolled hem on that. So, nope, we won't show that one today. Hey, guys, before we get going today, I want to make sure that you remember we have a beautiful 880 sale, or 880, used 880 here in the shop. It is an 880 plus upgrade. It is normally the 880s cost $16,000, guys. This one is only $74.99. If you've been thinking about an 880, you want to have embroidery, you want to have all the finest features of a Bernina, this machine is a lovely, lovely machine. And it's what I use. I love my 880. It's just it sews unlike anything I've ever sewn on in my life. And if you're comfortable with a high-end machine, you are going to just love this. So I wanted to remind you that we have that. Oh, the 735. We have the 735. Now, where is that one at? Ah, here it is. Okay. All right. So we also have a really good deal on a 735 right now. Now, this 735 is normally $6,000, $5,999. But we loaned this for a 3-day event over at the Indiana Heritage Quilt Show to a Bernina educator who very gently used this machine. So we're giving you a really good deal on it. So if you're looking for a 735 and you want to get a really good deal on this, by the way, it will have a full warranty on it. You are going to be able to get this machine now for $4,499. That is a $1,500 savings. How cool is that? So you need to think about that one for sure. Now, what's the difference between a 770 and a 735? It's the smaller feed dog system. That 530 or 735 is what I have at home. I have an 880 here at the shop I use all the time, and then when I go home, I sew on a 735. Love that machine. Really fantastic. Okay, and I wanted to make sure that we go ahead and tell you guys. Well, maybe,
you might have to touch the computer.
Computer. Okay, all right. I was going to say, as usual, I never know what to do with these things. There we go. I want to tell you guys about something really exciting. We're going to have a kids camp this year. We have not been able to do this for several years. So, kids summer sewing camp. The first session is going to be on June the 5th through the 8th, and it's going to be for 2 weeks. The 5th through the 8th is a Monday through Thursday, and then we'll have a second week that's the 12th through the 15th. And, well, then we have also that. Let's see what's going on there. Okay. So what I wanted to let you know is that we have 2 different sessions. They're both the same class. They're for kids from 11 to 16. We have a second session in July. So if your kids can't make it in June, we're going to do one in July. Now, I have had in the past where grandparents have their grandkids for the summer. Maybe this would be something fun you can do with the grandkids. We would love to have your kids here for this. We're going to supply the sewing machines, all the materials, and except for just a little bit. We need you to get just a little bit of materials because we want the kids to like what they're going to make. So we need you to buy just a little bit of stuff for this. But the majority of it is taken care of in the class cost. We're going to have it, it's pretty small. It's only going to have 6 kids in it. So this will be really nice and set up for the kids. If you have grandkids or children and you want to send them and get them to learn how to use a sewing machine, this is the class for them.
And who's teaching?
And Cheryl Risotto, who is one of our new instructors here, is going to be teaching. And I'd show you her picture, but we haven't got one of her yet up on the bulletin board. So we're going to have her teaching this, and she is so excited. She has taught 4-H for years, and she would love to teach your kids how to sew. So I hope you will think about that one for this particular like I said, the sessions aren't a different class. They just are the same class run again a second time. So we're going to do one in June and one in July. No, you know what? We're going to go back here for a second, Dave, because I am going to go ahead and talk about it since it came up. Shop Hop is coming up, guys. If you want, and you better do it soon, if you want to be part of the Shop Hop, it's the Southern Indiana's Baskets of Fun Shop Hop. And it's going to include 9 shops. 9 shops this year. And then look at that gorgeous pen. That is part of what you get when you buy your passport before the hop. Now, we would love to have you join us for this. You can purchase this from us over the phone because we have to get some information for you. And we want to make sure that you get everything. But yes, you can buy it from us over the phone if you want.
And they're available now?
And they're available now. And $1 from each passport's donated to the Backpack Blessings in Shoals, Indiana. So this is a small local group that tries to take care of kids who families might not be able to afford everything for them for school. So this is a really cool thing too. So the passports are $6 before our hop. But during the hop, they're $7. And you know what? There's only a limited number of pins. So make sure that you get yours soon so you don't have any problems with that. Let me see. What else do we need to tell people about today, Dave? I think that we are just about done.
We could just kind of recap last week's event.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. So did you know May is going to be Overlocker month? Not Overlocker month. This is Overlocker month in April. But in May, we're going to do long arm month. So the long arms are going to go on sale. But last weekend, we had an amazing event with our Bernina educator, Robin Fippins. She was here. Everybody had a wonderful time with her. They learned a tremendous amount. And this afternoon, I'm teaching a mastery class on the frames. So what I want you to remember is that we offer the mastery classes on the long arms, which is kind of like a mini event. And so if you ever want to come to one of those and you want to try out the machines and kind of get a real good idea of what you would really be doing when you get your long arm, this is a perfect way to do the mastery event, or I think we'll probably do a regular event on the long arms, but they're on sale here coming up in May.
And especially if you go down to Paducah.
That's true. We had a call from a customer who was in Paducah. They're going to be coming back today, and I think that we're going to see them to look at our long arms and see what kind of a deal we can make with them for getting their studio frame. They were interested in a studio frame, and I think we can take care of that for them and make sure that they get a really nice deal on
So
the
some
long
people
arm.
still like to buy local.
Well, you know what? I'm going to just tell you, when it comes to having something like your sewing machine or your long arm or your overlocker, and you purchase it, when you're not doing it from someone close to you, or at least someone you can get on the phone, it can be a real challenge if you have a problem. A lot of times our problems are maybe just something, especially when we buy the machine new. Sometimes it's just because we don't know the right order to do things in. And you know what? Isn't it nice to be able to have someone you can call and say, you know, Margaret, I thought I did this right, but will you walk me through it? And sometimes it's just as simple as walking you through the steps, and you can figure out how to do it on your own at home. But if you really do run into a problem, isn't it nice to have some place you can go back to and say, this is really a problem. Can you see what's going on? And we have Aaron, our technician here, and Dave is our technician. The two of them, between the two of them, they're unstoppable. They always figure it out. And so they also use their resources at Bernina. We have a great relationship with our people at Bernina, and we try to get things fixed for you in a timely fashion, in a way you understand. So I hope that will encourage you to stop by and see our long arms. And you know what? Generally, those deals down at Paducah, you know what they tell you? Oh, we'll go set it up for you for free, or we'll do this for that. And then when you have a problem, they're nowhere to be found.
Well, they might be 500-700 miles away.
Yes, and it's really actually a big deal, because how did they come and see you then? But we can. You know, anybody in the state of Indiana, it's within driving distance of us. But, you know, somebody who's talking 500, 700 miles from you, they're not likely going to come and visit you. So please think about that when you go and make these purchases. And you might be surprised that we can actually meet some of the sale prices they're talking about. So I hope that you will think about that. And we would love to see you. If you're at Paducah, just remember that it might sound like a really good price, but really in the end, what's going to happen? It's really unfortunate. Sometimes people get really disappointed at the customer service they get after they go home. So we're here all the time, and we want to be your Bernina shop and your Bernette shop. And plus, we have wonderful fabrics. So tomorrow, speaking of wonderful fabrics, we're going to introduce you again to some new Lewis and Irene fabrics, and we have some other really pretty things to show off. So I hope that you will have some time for us tomorrow morning. We're going to be here at 9:30 in the morning, just like we were today. Every Friday and Saturday, we're here at 9:30 on Facebook Live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook and we do demos and we have things available for you to look at there too. So if you have any suggestions for classes or demos that you want to see, make sure you let us know, and you have a wonderful day. And don't forget to share. I apologize for not having the pattern here for me, but it's a really cute patriotic pattern, and you will get it shipped to you no matter where you live, as long as you hit your share button on Facebook and then you go ahead and put in the comments shared. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for Facebook Live.